Welcome back to Power Plant Engineering. So last class we have gone through some introduction part to gas turbine power plant. So we have seen the functionality of thermal power station, hydraulic power station as well as nuclear power station. And we have compared the efficiency of thermal power station as well as hydraulic power station. So more or less last class we have done the introduction part of thermal power plant. So in today's lecture what we are going to do is we will proceed, and last time we have also covered the classification of gas turbine power plant also. The classification part also we have covered. So today onwards what I have planned is we are going to complete the working principle of open cycle gas turbine, closed cycle gas turbine, and then we will switch to the combined cycle power plant also. So more or less today we are going to complete the second part of unit 2. Okay. So without wasting any time, we will start with the open cycle gas turbine power plant. So this is how gas turbine power plant or a thermal power plant will looks like. We have number of power plants in India, like we have in Kakatiya thermal power plant, Vizag thermal power plant, like this many power plant we have across India. Okay. So based upon that, the first thing is we are going to cover the working principle of open cycle gas turbine power plant. Okay. So that is our first thing. So first I will show you the plant layout of open cycle gas turbine power plant. What are the components we are going to use in a open cycle gas turbine power plant? Okay, how the working fluid will flow through different components. Those things we are going to show you in the layout part. Okay, so this is nothing but a layout of a open cycle power plant. So here you can see mainly three components are there. Okay, so first one is compressor, that is the essential component, or the first component of a open cycle gas turbine power plant is compressor. Then combustion chamber, and the next one is turbine. Okay, so these are the three important parts of an open cycle gas turbine power plant. And here the working fluid is nothing but atmospheric air. We can use this air as a working fluid in case of open cycle gas turbine power plant. So at the end of this lecture, you will also get to know what is the difference between open cycle gas turbine power plant and closed cycle gas turbine power plant. Those things also you will get some clarity. Okay. Now coming to the working principle. So as I told you, in open cycle gas turbine power plant we will be having mainly three components. One is compressor, one is combustion chamber, and the third one is turbine. These are the main components of a open cycle gas turbine power plant. Okay. So this is a cross section of a gas turbine. Okay. So here you can see from the left side, atmospheric air will enter. This blue color line, air will be enter, and this section will be divided into three parts. First one is this one will be the compression section. This thing is nothing but compression, where the air, atmospheric air, will compress to high temperature and pressure. Okay, followed by the next one is the combustion. Okay, where the air fuel mixture will get ignited. Okay, then it is followed by a turbine plant, where isentropic expansion of the gas will take place, and from here only we are going to get useful mechanical work output. This is how the cross section of a gas turbine power plant looks like. Okay. So one by one we are going to discuss the different processes that we will adopt in a gas turbine power plant. So the first process is process 1 to 2. I will show you the TS as well as PV diagram of this open cycle gas turbine power plant side by side. Okay. So the first process is air, atmospheric air will enter to the compressor. Our first component was compressor. first atmospheric air will enter to the compressor at atmospheric pressure and temperature. Okay, then inside the compressor the air will get compressed and its temperature and pressure will increase isentropically. What do you mean by isentropically? Entropy of the gas will remain constant. Okay, isentropic process is also called as reversible adiabatic process. All the process that we are going to discuss here is it is reversible adiabatic process. Reversible adiabatic process is also called as isentropic process. Reversible adiabatic means there will be no heat addition takes place inside the compressor. Okay, so that is nothing but process 1 to 2. What is process 1 to 2? I will show you in a TS plot, TS and PV plot. So if I draw the TS and PV diagram, so this process in TS diagram, this process 1 to 2, this is nothing but isentropic compression of the atmospheric air. So here the x-axis is nothing but entropy, y-axis is nothing but temperature. Since I told you the temperature and pressure are raised isentropically, means isentropically means isoentropically. Iso means same or constant. Entropy will remain constant. So since this x-axis is a entropy axis, so process 1 to 2 you can see a constant line. Okay, process 1 to 2 is entropy is constant during process 1 to 2. And what happened in this process? The pressure and temperature of the atmospheric air will increase. So you can see from 1 to 2, from point 1 to 2, the temperature will gradually increase. Clear? This is the first step. Same thing we have plotted in PV diagram also. So in PV diagram, isentropically process will be a curved line. Process 1 to 2, it will be a curved line. Okay, and here also you can see from process 1 to 2, pressure is going to increase. Since inside the compressor, when we compress the air, both temperature as well as pressure is going to increase. Okay, so that is, you can see that which is revealed from here. Temperature will also increase from 1 to 2, pressure will also increase from 1 to 2 at constant entropy. That's why this process 1 to 2 is called reversible adiabatic process or isoentropic process. That is first point. Second point is the next one, process 2 to 3. After the compression of air inside the compressor, the air will be drawn out to the combustion chamber. That is what we are going to explain in process 2 to 3. So what happened in process 2 to 3? The high pressure air which will be coming out from the compressor will be directed to the combustion chamber. Okay, and here we will add the fuel. Okay, and the fuel will burn at constant pressure inside the combustion chamber. So if we will plot it in TS and PV diagram, then it will be somehow looking like this. So you just see process 2 to 3. Here pressure is constant, and since we are supplying the fuel, burning of the fuel will take place in process 2 to 3. If burning of the fuel will take place, then more amount of heat will generate, and if more amount of heat will generate, the temperature during this process 2 to 3 will gradually increase at constant pressure. Pressure will remain constant. The combustion chamber, inside the combustion chamber we are maintaining a constant pressure. So that's why in PV diagram you can see in process 2 to 3 the pressure is constant. Clear? We are adding heat, means we are burning the fuel, so we are adding heat at constant pressure. That exactly happened in process 2 to 3. Clear? Now the next one is, the next process is process 3 to 4. So what happens in process 3 to 4? After heat addition takes place inside the combustion chamber, okay, then the gas is allowed to flow through a turbine, our third component. The gas is allowed to flow through a turbine. And what happens in turbine? In turbine, expansion of the gas will take place isentropically. So that's what we have mentioned here. Okay, so after the combustion chamber, the high temperature gases will enter to the turbine, and inside the turbine, expansion of the gases will take place isentropically or reversible adiabatically, and then the gas will expand to the atmospheric pressure, and in this process we will get mechanical work output. Now if we are going to plot this process in TS and PV diagram, the process will somewhat look like this. Okay, you just observe process 3 to 4. Process 3 to 4. What happened here? In process 3 to 4, expansion of the gas will take place. If gas will expand, means its temperature and pressure will gradually decrease. So you can see from process 3 to 4, the temperature will gradually decrease. Similarly, if you see in PV diagram also, from process 3 to 4, the pressure will gradually decrease. But it will take place isentropically or reversible adiabatically. Since it is a reversible adiabatic process, or since it is the isentropic process, you can see a straight line, because our x-axis is entropy axis, and since entropy is constant during process 3 to 4, so we will get a straight line from point 3 to point 4. Clear? Okay. So these are the process that we have got in an open cycle gas turbine. Okay. So if I will show you the final TS and PV diagram of an open cycle gas turbine, then it will. Okay. So after the output from the turbine, whatever the mechanical work we will get from the turbine, some of the work will be used to drive the compressor, and the remaining work will get our shaft work output. That will be our useful work. Okay, and whatever the exhaust gases we will get from the turbine, whatever the expandable exhaust gases we are getting from the turbine. Okay, those gases we are not going to circulate once again. The exhaust gases from the turbine we are leaving to the atmosphere, and that's why this cycle is a open cycle gas turbine. So if I will show you the complete TS versus PV diagram of an open cycle gas turbine, you can see the process 4 to 1, it is not a solid line, it is a dotted line. To complete the cycle, we have drawn a dotted line from process 4 to 1, which is a constant pressure process. Similarly, in PV diagram also, the process 4 to 1 is nothing but a dotted line. Okay, so that's why it is called a open cycle gas turbine. Why it is open cycle gas turbine? This means whatever the output gases we are getting at process 4, we are not going to direct that gas to the inlet of the compressor. Okay, whatever the output gas or exhaust gas we are getting from the turbine, that is not going to recirculate once again. That we are going to leave to the atmosphere. That's why it is a open cycle gas turbine. Okay, and the contrary to this one, in case of closed cycle gas turbine, next we are going to cover that topic also. When we will come to closed cycle gas turbine, whatever the output gases we will get here from the turbine exhaust, that gas we are going to recirculate, or we are going to supply to the inlet of the compressor through a heat exchanger. That I will come later. Okay, so this is the working principle of an open cycle gas turbine. Now if you will see the advantages, means it will be having a lots of advantages. What are the advantages? The first one is capital cost. Okay, since here we are using very less number of components, so the cost of the power plant will be very less. Second one is lightweight. Of course, number of components are very less, so this turbine will be, this open cycle gas turbine will be very lightweight. Next is, it is simplicity in design, very simple in the designing process of open cycle gas turbine we can obtain. and weight and size of this type of power plant is also very less. These are some advantages of open cycle gas turbine. Similarly, coming to the disadvantages, obviously the efficiency of this type of power plant will be very less. Why? Because here we are getting very high amount of losses. Okay, whatever the gas or whatever the exhaust we are getting from the turbine, we are not going to utilize those things. Waste heat utilization is not there. Okay, so that's why very less amount of thermal efficiency we are going to get in this process. Clear? Okay, and also one more thing is this type of gas turbine is very sensitive to the component efficiency. Component efficiency means here we will be taking two components. One is compressor, one is expansion. Turbine. Okay, so for the compressor we have a compression efficiency, and for turbine we have a turbine efficiency. Okay, so this open cycle gas turbine is very much sensitive to the respective compressor and turbine efficiencies. Okay, so if there is a slight change or slight reduction in the compressor efficiency, okay, then rapidly it will decrease the thermal efficiency of the open cycle gas turbine power plant. When we will do some problem, okay, that is also actually not required. I will show you later. If I will show you in a problem, if we will slightly change the compressor efficiency, then you can see that it will be having a huge impact on the thermal efficiency of open cycle gas turbine power plant. Okay, so these are some of the advantages or disadvantages of open cycle gas turbine power plant. Clear? Now next we will switch over to the closed cycle gas turbine power plant. Our next topic is closed cycle gas turbine power plant. So this here very rapidly I am going to cover this topic. Why? Because the working principle of closed cycle gas turbine power plant is very much similar as compared to open cycle gas turbine power plant that we have discussed just now. The only difference is in closed cycle gas turbine power plant, same gas we are going to circulate again and again. Then we are going to utilize the waste heat that is coming out from the turbine. Okay, and since we are going to utilize the waste heat, the efficiency of closed cycle gas turbine power plant will be little bit higher as compared to open cycle gas turbine power plant. That is the first thing. Second thing is, in case of an open cycle gas turbine power plant, only atmospheric air you can use as a working fluid, because we are drawing the air from the atmosphere and we are leaving the exhaust from the turbine to the atmosphere. Only atmospheric air you can use as a working fluid. But contrary to that one, in case of closed cycle gas turbine, any gases we can use having some superior properties we can use as a working fluid. So that is also one advantage of closed cycle gas turbine as compared to open cycle gas turbine. So we will come to that part. So quickly, this is the schematic diagram of an closed cycle gas turbine. So here you can see compressor. In open cycle gas turbine also we have a compressor. Here turbine was there. In open cycle gas turbine also we have a turbine. Now in open cycle gas turbine, here we will be having a combustion chamber, inside which burning of air and fuel mixture will takes place. But here in place of combustion chamber, you can call this as a combustion chamber also, but more precisely we will replace the combustion chamber with a heat exchanger, where additionally we are supplying some heat. Okay, so two heat exchangers will be there. One heat exchanger will be there. Here heat will be added, and here heat will be rejected. Okay. And from the turbine we will get the mechanical work output. So you can see the diagram is a little bit similar as compared to open cycle gas turbine. Here only one more component we will get, because we are going to utilize the exhaust that is coming out from the turbine. The same exhaust or the same gas we are directing to the compressor. This is the only difference in case of in case of closed cycle gas turbine. In open cycle, whatever the exhaust coming out from the turbine, directly we are supplying that to the atmosphere. We are not going to utilize that exhaust from the turbine. But here in closed cycle gas turbine, we are going to utilize the exhaust gas from the turbine. That exhaust gas from the turbine will need to flow through a heat exchanger, then it will be recirculated to the compressor. That is the striking difference between closed cycle gas turbine and open cycle gas turbine. Okay. So now coming to the, this is the layout. Okay. So now coming to the working principle. in case of closed cycle gas turbine. Okay. So here whatever the working fluid we have used, that will not come in contact with atmospheric air, because now we are not going to draw the air directly from the atmosphere. Okay, so the same fluid is going to circulate inside various components. Okay, so there will be no physical contact between the working fluid of a closed cycle gas turbine and the atmospheric air. Okay, so here that's why we have taken the working fluid is air or some other suitable gases. Any gases also you can take. Okay. Second point is the compression and expansion process will remain same. Will remain same means whatever the compression and expansion takes place in a open cycle gas turbine, same process also takes place in a closed cycle gas turbine also. Those two processes will remain same. As I told you, we have used the same component also. But the combustion process is replaced by a constant pressure heat addition process from an external source. Like I told you, in closed cycle gas turbine, we are going to use a heat exchanger in place of a combustion chamber. Okay. Now the exhaust gas which is coming out from the turbine, okay, is directed to a constant pressure heat rejection. Okay. So this means here. Okay. So whatever the exhaust gas that is coming out from the turbine, okay, we are directing that exhaust gas to a constant pressure heat exchanger. Instead of directing those gases to the atmosphere, we are directing the exhaust gas from the turbine to a constant pressure heat exchanger. Okay. And the next point is the cold gas is drawn to the compressor after the heat exchanger. After the rejection of the heat, the gas will comes out to its normal temperature and pressure. Then it will be directed to the compressor. Means we are going to recirculate the same gas again and again throughout the cycle. Okay. Now the high temperature gases. Okay, so now inside the combustion chamber, okay, compression of those gases will take place. Its pressure and temperature will gradually increase. That is the first point in compression process. Now after the compression, the high temperature gases will move to the heat exchanger where addition of the heat will take place. Okay, by burning of fuel or something like that. And after that, the high temperature and high pressure gas will be directed to the turbine, same as in case of open cycle gas turbine. Okay, and in the turbine, the expansion of the gas will takes place, and here we will get mechanical work output. Okay, now the next thing is, after whatever the work output we will get from the turbine, a part of the work will be utilized to drive the compressor, and remaining work we will get as a soft work or as a useful work. By using them we can generate some electricity or we can fulfill our purpose. Okay, that is the next thing. Now whatever the exhaust gas that is coming, I have explained to this point, whatever the exhaust gas that is coming out from the turbine, okay, those exhaust gas will not be directed to the atmosphere as in case of open cycle gas turbine. In closed cycle gas turbine, what we have done is, the exhaust gas that is coming out from the turbine, it will be cooled or it will be made to flow through a heat exchanger where rejection of heat will take place. Okay, then the gas will be restored to its initial temperature and pressure, and then again it will be recirculated to the compressor. Okay, so in this manner the recirculation of the same gas will take place again and again throughout the cycle through different components. That's why this is termed as closed cycle gas turbine. Okay, so that is the working principle between open cycle gas turbine and closed cycle gas turbine. So the PV diagram and TS diagram will also remain same as in case of open cycle gas turbine. The only difference is you have observed in open cycle gas turbine this 4-to-1 process was a dotted line. Okay, but here you can see a solid line. What do you mean by this is? This is a complete cycle. Whatever the exhaust that is coming out, we are getting from the turbine output, same exhaust gas after some rejection of heat, we are recirculating to the turbine compressor input. Same exhaust gas only we are using and we are supplying to the compressor input. So same working fluid will circulate again and again throughout the cycle or through different components. Similarly, in PV diagram also you see the process 4-to-1. Here also you can see a solid line. The exhaust from turbine output we are utilizing in compressor input. That is the only difference in the TS diagram and PV diagram of open cycle gas turbine and closed cycle gas turbine. Now coming to the advantage, as I have told you some advantage, that is there no internal cleaning is required because we are not drawing out air from the atmosphere. In open cycle gas turbine we are taking air from the atmosphere. So what happened in the atmospheric air, some dust particle rust will be there. Okay, so if those dust particle will enter to the compressor or turbine, it will hamper the components. Okay, that's why regular maintenance is required in case of open cycle gas turbine. But here, since there will be no contact between atmospheric air and the working fluid in case of closed cycle gas turbine, so same fluid will only going to circulate again and again inside a closed cycle gas turbine. So no internal cleaning is required over here. That is one point. Next is, here you can use any fuel of high calorific value. That is one advantage. Okay, so already I have told you better thermal efficiency will get in case of closed cycle gas turbine as compared to open cycle gas turbine. And here also best utilization of waste heat, because whatever the waste heat, whatever the heat we are getting from turbine output, we are going to utilize those things by using a heat exchanger. So best utilization of waste heat we can do in case of closed cycle gas turbine. So now coming to the disadvantage. Okay, so first one is it will be complicated because number of heat exchangers we are using to recirculate the air again and again. So the design will be complicated and of course it will be costlier also. The system must be strong enough to resist high pressure. In order to get high thermal efficiency, we need to have high temperature and high pressure of working fluid to be circulated inside the circuit. Okay, and to maintain that high pressure of the fluid, the system should be strong enough. We have to use some costlier material for the construction of those components. Now here, since high temperatures are increasing, so we need to provide some coolant for the components to maintain its thermal stability or to take away the heat as max as possible. Okay. Then external furnace also required, because I told you here we are using a heat exchanger and so that's why in place of combustion chamber here we are using some heat exchanger. Okay. So that's why what we have to do, externally we have to put a furnace. From that furnace we will generate the heat, we will burn the fuel and we will generate the heat. That heat we have to supply to the heat exchanger. Okay, so some external furnace also required, so which will add the cost of the closed cycle gas turbine. So these are some advantages and disadvantages of open cycle gas turbine. Okay, So I hope you got some idea between the difference and similarity of open cycle and closed cycle gas turbine. This is the working principle as well as advantage and disadvantages of open cycle and closed cycle gas turbine power plant. Okay, so now we will see some mathematical expression. Already you know this thing. Okay, so from the TS diagram, okay, what we are going to do is we are going to calculate what is the amount of heat added, what is the amount of heat rejected, what is the turbine work output, what is the compressor work input, and what will be the thermal efficiencies. Already you know this mathematical expression. So quickly I will just show you. I think it is visible. Okay, so this is the TS diagram. Okay, so you see the solid line process 1, 2, 3, 4. This is known as ideal gas turbine cycle. Okay, 1 to 2 is isentropic process, 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat addition process, 3 to 4 isentropic expansion process, and from process 4 to 1 this is constant pressure heat rejection process. And you can see some dotted line means 1, 2 dash, 3, 4 dash. Okay, this is nothing but the actual cycle. Okay, so ideal cycle means there will be, we are assuming in case of ideal cycle there will be no loss. Okay, and the efficiency will be close to Carnot cycle efficiency, which will be maximum. But in the actual case that is not going to happen. There will be some losses will be there. Okay, and mainly those loss will come in terms of compression efficiency and expansion efficiency that I have discussed. Okay, so that's why we have for actual cycle, if we will consider, the process will become 1, 2 dash, 3, 4 dash. Like this the process will come. Okay, so there in this process already you know what is this process called. 1 to 2 is ideal process or reversible adiabatic process. 1 to 2 dash is actual process. Similarly 3 to 4 this is the reversible adiabatic or isentropic expansion process, and 3 to 4 dash this is irreversible or actual expansion process. Clear? Okay, so the diagram is, I think it is not clear to you, but all these things you already know. What is the work input? If you will see work input, the actual work input will be Cp into T2 minus T1. Okay, so here it will be work input. This is the compression part. In compressor we will supply the work input. This is the expansion process 3 to 4. Here we will get work output. This process 2 to 3 this is heat addition process, and this one is heat rejection process. These are the 4 processes are there. First thing is work input. Work input is Cp. Cp means heat, specific heat at constant pressure. So 2 to 1 is Cp, work input is Cp into T2 minus T1. That's only I have written. Work input is Cp T2 dash minus T1 means that is the actual work. This is the ideal work is Cp T2 minus T1, and if you see the actual work input Cp T2 dash minus T1. Okay, so work input I have taken the actual thing. Work input in compression is Cp into T2 dash minus T1. Okay, similarly heat supplied is actual heat supplied is Cp into T3 minus T2 dash, and ideal heat supplied is Cp into T3 into T2. So since we are taking the actual heat, so we can take Cp into T3 minus T2 dash. Okay, so here we have the heat supplied is Cp T3 minus T2 dash. Now what is the actual work input? Work output is Cp into T3 minus T4 dash. Actual work output. Okay, so work output is Cp into T3 minus T4 dash. So the net work output is work done by turbine minus work done by compressor. Work done by turbine is this much minus work done by compressor is this much. Clear? Now coming to the thermal efficiency, if you are going to calculate, so thermal efficiency is nothing but the ratio of net work output divided by net heat supplied. What is the net work output? This is net work output we got. We will write that thing here. What is the heat supplied? This is the heat supplied. We have calculated the actual thermal efficiency. So we have written the heat supplied. So now if you solve this equation, okay, so you will get the actual thermal efficiency of a gas turbine power plant. Okay, so this temperature value will be given in the question. Just put the value and you will get the thermal efficiency. So the next one is the compressor efficiency. Okay, so I told you compressor efficiency will be there and turbine efficiency will be there. Okay, so for compressor efficiency, it is nothing but the ratio of isentropic compression process or ideal compression process divided by actual compression process. Which one is ideal compression process? 1 to 2 is ideal, 1 to 2 dash is actual. Okay, so if I tell you ideal process, it will be Cp T2 minus T1. Actual is Cp T2 dash minus T1. So that thing only I have written. Ideal means Cp T2 minus T1 divided by actual is Cp T2 dash minus T1. So this is the compression efficiency. Now coming to the turbine efficiency, if we see the turbine efficiency, okay, so actual is T3 minus T4 dash Cp into T3 minus T4 dash and ideal is Cp into T3 minus T4. Okay, so turbine efficiency we will get actual work output by isentropic work output. So Tp Cp T3 minus T4 dash divided by Cp T3 minus T4. So this is the turbine efficiency. So three type of efficiency we got. One is the overall thermal efficiency of the power plant. This one. Second thing, the compressor efficiency. Third thing, isentropic efficiency. Already you know this thing. That's why quickly I am just revising all these things. Clear? So that is all about open cycle gas turbine and closed cycle gas turbine. So now the next topic is, that is the last topic, that is combined cycle gas turbine power plant. Okay. So combined cycle means, what is the necessity of this thing means, the necessity of this combined cycle gas turbine power plant is, we have to enhance the thermal efficiency. If some case we are going to increase the we need higher thermal efficiency as compared to the cost, then in that case we can employ this combined cycle gas turbine power plant. It is very simple. Just we are going to combine two cycles. Whatever the output we are getting from one cycle, that output will supply to the another cycle. Okay. So if I show the diagram, you will get some clarity. This is nothing but a schematic of open cycle gas turbine power plant. Okay, so here you can see we will be having two cycles are there. This is first cycle, the top one. This will be the first cycle. Bottom one, this will be another cycle. You can see these two cycles are coupled over here. Okay, so what happened here? First come to the first cycle. Here we have a compressor. We will supply some atmosphere. Suppose we are here we are taking a open cycle gas turbine. This is nothing but a open cycle gas turbine, and this is nothing but a steam turbine, steam power plant. We are coupling or we are combining open cycle gas turbine with a steam power plant. Rankine cycle. I think you might have studied regarding Rankine cycle. Open cycle gas turbine is Brayton cycle. Steam turbine, steam power plant works on Rankine cycle. So here we are going to combine the gas turbine power plant with a steam turbine power plant. Okay. So here what happened? I told you in a open cycle gas turbine, first compressor is there. It will drag the atmospheric air. Then it will compress the atmospheric air. That air will be supplied to the combustion chamber. Okay, where burning of air and fuel will take place, temperature will increase. Okay, at constant pressure, then the high temperature gases will be supplied to the gas turbine, where expansion of the gas will take place, and we will get mechanical work output. Whatever the mechanical work we will get from the turbine, a part of the mechanical work is used to drive the compressor, and remaining part we will get as a power output. That is our useful mechanical work output. And the exhaust from the gas turbine we are supplying to the atmosphere in case of open cycle gas turbine. But here what we are doing is, whatever the exhaust will come out from the gas turbine, that exhaust we will supply to a steam generator. It is also nothing a type of boiler. Okay, so here we will add the fuel, and whatever the exhaust gas that will be come out from the gas turbine, obviously the pressure and temperature of this exhaust gas will be more as compared to atmospheric pressure. Those high temperature and pressure gases that is coming out from the gas turbine will supply to a steam generator. Okay, here fuel will be there, and when that fuel will come in contact with this high temperature and high pressure gases, the burning of the fuel will take place. Clear? So then what we will do, that fuel will be supplied to the steam turbine, where expansion of the gas will take place. Okay, we will get mechanical power output. Then that will be supplied to a condenser. Okay, where cooling water will recirculate. That will decrease the temperature and pressure of the turbine exhaust. Then with the help of a pump, again we will redirect those low pressure and low temperature fluid to the boiler. Okay, so like this process, what we have done here is we have coupled two cycles. We have combined two cycles over here. So here we will get some mechanical work output. Okay, here also we are going to get some mechanical work output. So overall, the net mechanical work output of this cycle will be more as compared to the individual cycle. And if the net mechanical work output will be more, so obviously we are going to get a higher thermal efficiency in case of combined cycle gas turbine power plant. Okay, so that is the striking advantage of a gas turbine power plant as compared to the individual power plant. Okay, so the same thing already I have explained you, like in case of a gas turbine power plant, whatever the mechanical work output we are getting from the turbine, okay, those mechanical work output we can convert that into electricity by using a generator, and the whatever the waste heat we are getting from one cycle, like here whatever the waste heat we are getting from this cycle, that heat will be used to generate steam for the second cycle. Okay, same thing I have mentioned here, and whatever the waste heat is used to make steam to generate additional electricity via steam turbine. Okay, so whatever the waste heat we will get here, that waste heat is utilized to generate steam, then the steam will expand in the turbine, and here additionally mechanical work output we will get, and from that work output we can get the electricity. Okay. Now a combined cycle power plant produce high power output at higher efficiency and low emission. Okay. Emission will be less and efficiency will be high. Already I told you. In a conventional power plant we are getting 33% electricity. Conventional power plant means whether it will be a diesel power plant or a steam turbine power plant. Okay, so or open cycle gas turbine power plant or closed cycle gas turbine power plant, normally we are getting some 30 to 40% of electricity, and remaining will be liberated as a waste heat. But contrary to that one, in case of combined cycle power plant we can get up to 68% of electricity. You can see the number is almost double. Okay, so efficiency of this power plant will be almost double or 2 times as compared to conventional power plant. So that is the striking advantage of combined cycle power plant as compared to conventional power plant. Okay, so now I will give you one demonstration. Okay, so here what we are going to do is we are combining a gas turbine cycle with a diesel cycle. Okay, so regarding diesel power plant, in the subsequent video we are going to cover. Okay, so here I will give you how a gas turbine power plant is going to combine with a diesel power plant. How it can be done? These all things we are doing to improve the efficiency of a diesel power plant, because in diesel power plant the efficiency will be very less, hardly 25-30%. So how to improve those efficiency? We are going to combine a gas turbine plant along with a diesel power plant. So this can be done by two methods. One is turbocharging, one is gas generator. So sometimes they are asking write a short notes on turbocharging, gas generator. So 5 marks question they may ask from here. Okay, so I will tell you what do you mean by a turbocharging. So here in the diagram you can see what we have. We have a diesel engine and overall we have a gas turbine, open cycle gas turbine. This is the open cycle gas turbine, because we are not going to use the exhaust that is coming out from the turbine. Okay, so we have combined a open cycle gas turbine along with a diesel engine. Okay, so normally what happens in diesel engine, we will supply the air and fuel mixture directly, but instead of that, in case of turbocharging, okay, here what we are going to do is, okay, first compressor will be there, it will drag the atmospheric air down, it will compress the atmospheric air. Okay, so the pressure and temperature of the atmospheric air over here, it will increase. After that, the compressed pressure and temperature air, it will supplied to the diesel engine. So what happens whenever you will put the diesel? Okay, so due to the presence of sufficient compressed air inside the engine, the complete combustion of the fuel will take place. Suppose you have two cases. In one case, I am supplying normal atmospheric air. In the second case, I am supplying some compressed air. So what we will get is the amount of fuel that is burned in case of normal atmospheric air will be less as compared to the compressed air. If compressed air will be there, then it will get efficient amount of oxygen to burn the fuel. Okay, so that is the advantage of turbocharging. So the compressed air will supply to the diesel engine. Okay, so from the diesel engine we will get the mechanical work output. Then the expansion from the diesel engine, whatever the exhaust gas that is coming out from the diesel engine, will supply to the gas turbine. Okay, obviously this exhaust gases will be having a high temperature and high pressure. Normally we will supply those gases to the atmosphere through a silencer, okay, or through a chimney. But here in the diesel power plant, the exhaust gas will supply to the turbine. And here also once again we will get some mechanical work output by expansion of these gases. So what we have seen here, we have used the waste heat. Whatever the waste heat was there in diesel engine, that waste heat we have used to get some mechanical work output from the turbine. Okay, so it will increase it will make the best utilization of waste heat, as well as it will increase the mechanical work output, and it can be able to produce more electricity as compared to conventional diesel engine. That is the advantage of turbocharging. Now the second point I have told you, second point was gas generator. Okay, so here also the same principle we are using. Here what we have done is, here this compressor is directly coupled with the diesel engine. Okay, so here, so you can see one gear is attached to the diesel engine, one gear is attached to the compressor of the gas turbine. Okay, and these two gears, means this gear and this gear, they are coupled with each other. these are in combine with each other. So whenever you will start a diesel engine, this gear will rotate, and when this gear will rotate, it will drive the compressor. The difference is, in case of turbocharging, the compressor was driven by the help of turbine. Whatever the work output we got from the turbine, a part of the work is used to drive the compressor. Remaining part of the work we will get as a useful mechanical work output. So here the compressor was connected with the turbine, but here in gas generator you can see here it is a dotted line. This is not a solid line. Okay, so here this compressor is not connected with the turbine, rather the compressor is connected with the diesel engine itself. Okay, so whenever you will run the engine, okay, this gear will rotate, and in terms it will rotate the compressor. Okay, so here also the same process only, remaining process will remain exactly same. We will take the atmospheric air to the compressor, it will compress the atmospheric air, its pressure and temperature will increase, then we will supply that air to the diesel engine. Inside the diesel engine, bonding of the fuel will take place, then exhaust from the diesel engine will supply to the turbine. Okay, so in turbine, expansion of the gas will take place, we will get mechanical work output. All the process will remain same. Only difference is, in the gas generator, this compressor is not connected with turbine, but this compressor is connected with the diesel engine itself. Whatever the mechanical work output we will get with the diesel engine, part of the mechanical work output of this diesel engine is used to drive the compressor, and remaining part we will get as mechanical work output. That is the difference between turbocharging and gas generator. Now the last part, that is advantages of combined cycle gas turbine. First one is, obviously I told you number of times, it will improve the efficiency as compared to conventional gas turbine power plant. Second one, it is more suitable for rapid start and shutdown. Normally it will take lots of time, lots of effort, lots of fuel to start a power plant. But in case of a gas turbine power plant, this scenario will not come into picture. Rapid start and stop of the power plant you can do. Cooling water requirement is not required over here. Okay, capital cost will also less. Less means as compared to the efficiency, the cost of this power plant will be lesser. Okay. Then emission will also not be there, because we are going to use the waste heat. So there will be no emission from the combined gas turbine power plant. These are some of the advantages. Okay. So better disadvantage means, you can tell normally the combined cycle gas turbine power plant, the construction will be little bit complex, because we are going to combine two cycles together. So the construction, the design of the power plant will be little bit complex, and the floor area required will be little bit higher. Okay, so these are some of the disadvantages of combined cycle gas turbine power plant. So that's all about for today. So next class we are going to start the direct energy conversion techniques.